A package in the mail, MSX games from Japan. Collecting without fail, those shoot 'em ups, and that's the plan. He doesn't just collect them, he also codes them too. Join us and we'll go on electric adventures with you.
Hey YouTube, Electric Adventures here with a bit of an impromptu room tour. I have finally tidied up my room a little bit. It still has a ways to go and I'm going to make some changes to it, so I thought I'd better do a bit of a before video, and also I haven't done a room tour for ages. I won't spend too long on each of the individual collections or anything like that. We'll just do a bit of a tour around the room, and there is still a little bit of mess. So as we come in the room, this is my spot where I sit and sometimes edit videos, also record anything to do with the home computers. You can see a stack of MSX machines there. I have original Spectravideo there, Amiga 1200, Atari ST. There's a Spectrum 128 hidden in there. You can see a pile of Atari ST software there that I'm gradually recording from. There's a BBC Micro hidden down there and a Commodore 64. My Apple IIe Platinum and an Amiga 2000. So my little retro computing corner. There are more retro computers over this other side. They're going to be the things that it's going to be hard to show you. Now this next section here down the bottom is mostly MSX. I've gradually been moving the Famicom titles to make more room for the MSX. The MSX section is still crowded, and I am going to completely replace this section of shelves so I can better display my MSX titles. And I've also been putting some of the MSX titles in these box protectors. I've only just started those and I'm just about out, and I still have to put my Atari 2600, 7800 games in box protected as well. And once again, this new unit I'm going to build will go all the way to the ceiling, allow more room for the MSX and allow the Atari games to be displayed better. But I need to build it, and the one time when I was on holidays I couldn't get the wood because our hardware store had run out of wood. So we have a first arcade machine here. This is recovered off the local tip. And is actually an original Sega Galaxian. It's missing its glass from the top. It needs work. One of its legs a little bit wonky. And I have mostly fixed the board, and I also have a replacement board as well. But I need to completely rebuild the screen chassis. It's a project, and it's been going for some time, and will probably go for a bit longer. The next section of games is pretty much all Coleco. Get that chair out of the way. I have quite a large Coleco collection. I don't have all of the original games. I have a fair number of the homebrew titles. As you can see, they've spilled up onto the top. This little section here are my titles. I have a little collection of the mini arcade games. Sorry, I didn't have enough time to charge Centipede. It's the one that doesn't keep its charge as much as the later models. I actually quite enjoy playing some of those. Now, this cocktail cabinet here is a multi-game Williams cocktail cabinet. Its screen is a little dark. I'm going to try and get it rejuvenated. It's playable on some of the games. Can't play the darker games because of the angle and the reflection, but it's actually got a special set of Defender controls this side, which also are the generic controls, and on the other side it has a specific set of controls for playing Robotron. Now coming to the next section, this is my almost complete set of Sega Master System games. Above there we have some Wii, GameCube and original Xbox. The original Xbox is a mixture of Australian and US. There are lots of boxes of things with some things in them up there. Now down here, cocktail cabinet working perfectly. Still needs obviously a little aesthetic tidy ups, but it's wired up for playing Konami games. It can play 2-button ones. Currently has one of my favourite games in there, which is Time Pilot, which is one of the games I play the most. Have a pile of Coleco spares there. Let me know if there's anything you're after. There's some rare ones. Next we have Sega Master System. This first section here is my Sega Master System shoot 'em up collection. It does spill over a little over into there. We have a few there. We have my archery bow, which I can't currently use because of my shoulder. I do have two Sega 32 titles. I don't have a Sega 32 unit, so I do have quite a few Mega Drive games. Just the ones I like and ones I've picked up around the occasion. So next we have my Japanese Nintendo 64 games, double stacked I'm afraid. I'm making more room for my Nintendo section across the other side. This tiny little section here is what I have of my Australian or PAL Nintendo 64 games. We've snuck the EverDrive in there. This is where I've started to move the Famicom games. It's only temporary. I did sort them out a little bit. I've got Konami games all together and things like that. I said more to move and tidy up. I actually have some more modern stuff down there, some PS3 games with some Game Gear and GBA games there as well. Over here we have my PAL Sega Saturn games with some Star Wars cups. Some more Wii games hiding some Sega Saturn games. TS-80 stuff, so overflow from the Nintendo 64, and my Apple II games. And a mess. There's some Spectravideo and Babylon 5 stuff there, crammed into the corner, and lots of floppy disks and books and things. Now behind this arcade cabinet is my PSP collection, and this arcade cabinet, very nice cabinets, checkered flag. Checkered flag from Konami. Quite a good fun game. I haven't actually ever gotten off the second stage, but I'm getting better at it. Now next is my ugly cab. This was completely free. It needs a tremendous amount of work. Control metal needs to be replaced completely. Also the reflection. And obviously it was an XDI's machine for quite some time. Has a nice big monitor into it. The chassis is completely blown. You'll see it in a minute. It's underneath another machine. Lots of work to do for that one. I have put wheels on it so I can move around without hurting my back. Next one is my original Nintendo code. It used to be a Nintendo Space Firebird. The previous people have completely chopped the panel to pieces. I'm not sure what I'm going to do to restore that, but at the moment I have it set up as my Bosconian cab, except my Bosconian board's got a RAM error, so I've put Prehistoric Isle, which is one of my favourite games from back at the fish and chip shop back in the day. This board works, it occasionally has some RAM error, or graphics corruption. Next we have my Berserk machine. All original, mostly working. The screen does work. It gets up to the stage of the colour board and then stops. I do have a second set of boards. And there, on top of these arcade machines, there's a whole lot of random stuff. Some of it has stuff in it. This is a completely custom built cab that another member of the family built and ran in a room and gave to me. I've got an MVS 1 slot board in there, so and with the 150 and 1 cartridge at the moment. I do have a couple of real MVS cartridges, and it's just got a TV in there that doesn't do a too bad job. Eventually I'll replace that with a real MVS cab. I like my MVS stuff. Now next is my original arcade cab. Its chassis is completely blown, and I need to do a replacement. I do have spare tubes. I've just got to get the time to rebuild some chassis. That usually has my vertical fighters in it, and I have a few that I like having in that one, like Fire Shark or Raiden. Moving around, we have my arcade 1-up Attack from Mars Pinball. I really like this. I play it a lot. You can see the chassis from that other arcade under there. In the corner we have my original Star Wars movies Lego collection, and squeezed into those shelves and various Star Wars things, but also my PC collection is all squished down there as well. Behind the pinball machine is my Spectrum software collection, my Dick Smith Wizard collection, and a few miscellaneous things. Moving along here, we have my Intellivision collection. I do have most of the Intellivision games. My PS Vita, Lynx, and really hidden because there's just too much stuff jammed in there at the moment is my Atari Jaguar games and some trades. Just back a little bit. Up there we have my PlayStation 2 games, which were bought naturally through the system's life. Played the PlayStation 2 a lot and actually have ended up with multiple units because most of the kids ended up with one of them in their bedroom to play movies and play games. So lots of girl kid games up there. I have an almost complete set of Sega SG-1000, SE-3000 games. I'm actually only missing a couple of titles. I have two different multi-carts as well. Coming along, we have all my CD-based software, and you can see the Capcom game joystick up there hiding like a bit of stuff. Don't have many Dreamcast stuff. I've got quite a lot of Sega Saturn. There's Neo Geo CD hidden behind there. A large collection of PC Engine and PC Engine CD, and quite a large collection, and a little bit of PlayStation 1 games as well. And this is where I put all the joysticks for the systems when I'm not playing them. I'll just come down and let you have a look at the cabinet. So I made this cabinet about 2 years ago to fit everything nicely in. We've got Japanese and PAL GameCube, a modded PlayStation 2 to play any region, a modded US Mega Drive to play all regions, a Super Famicom, an Xbox 360, I don't think that one's well, an original Xbox, an Atari XE game system, arcade stick for the Super Famicom, PC Engine Duo R, and a PC Engine as well that's been modded. An Atari 7800, which I used to play all my Atari games, has been modded. A Sega Master System Mark 1. My Intellivision down there, that's actually having colour problems. And my other two Intellivisions don't work, so I've got a bit of Intellivision fixing. I do have a nice Yamaha sound system, up to the speakers you might have seen, and a 5-disc Yamaha CD player, which is what I use to play music when I'm in the game room. Then I have my Panasonic MSX2 Plus machine, which I play most of the MSX games on. The game on the screen now is one I got recently, which is Twin Bee. You can see the capture setup working. It's not too bad. There's no real lag between the two. I don't always have that TV turned on when I'm just playing games. We have an Atari Jaguar. I've got a multi-cart for that now. My Dreamcast. Once again, don't have a lot of games, but I've got a couple that I like. My Neo Geo CD. Sega Saturn. Nintendo 64. I've possibly got the Japanese one there, and the PAL one is up there. Amiga CD32, which is not mine. It's a long-term loan from my friend Brendan. I have an original PS3 60 with 60 gig with the backward compatibility, so that's actually really cool. It works, and I've replaced the drive with a solid state one, so it'll last longer. I have a generic Raspberry Pi arcade stick. One of these, actually I've got two of these, like a thing that you plug your iPad and Android tablet in. I've got an Android tablet in there for playing games. It's okay, it's a bit laggy. And this section, magazines, role-playing games, Super Famicom and SNES games from both PAL and NTSC, but mostly Super Famicom. And this is where I've just today moved my original Nintendo games across to here. And then I moved the Famicom games to where these were, just so I could get a bit more room in the MSX section. And I packed away some of my Star Trek Star Trips. So swinging around this way, this is some of my Amiga physical software collection. I have quite a few titles there. I won't go over that corner yet, it's a mess. Here I have Commodore PET, friend Brendan's ColecoVision, which I've been I tested out for him with my power supply, my Vectrex with the little arcade stick I got recently. This is my other arcade 1-up thing, which is a Frogger Time Pilot unit. Pardon me, I don't play it that often. They have central mess. Now there were 2 more cabs that I walked past. I have another little cab here that I made up as a Tutankhamun, another one of my favourite games. So it's got completely Konami chassis in there with the modification for the 3rd button for the flash. Unfortunately, the chassis for the CRT has gone, and well, it's still working, but the brightness goes. So I've gone and cranked everything up just so I can play it for the moment. It's probably not doing it any good, and the picture's horrible because I've done all that cranking. I had it perfect before, so I'm really disappointed that that one's chosen to go as well, but I will I actually have a spare of that chassis that has exactly the same problem. So I'll possibly send both of them off and get them to try and make hopefully 2 good ones. I do have a complete replacement tube. And then we go around to my little choplifter mini cabinet. And this is what this one's chassis is doing. So perfectly clear picture, but for some reason it is doubling and stretching vertically. And it's been doing that for a while. And once again, it's another chassis that I mean, I'm not particularly into repairing the chassis myself. Because I mean, it'd probably take me ages and I probably wouldn't do it right. So I'd prefer to send them off. But it does cost a lot of money to send them off. Alright, walk around here. So, pile of random stuff. Some interesting things in there for the retro computers. A spare ColecoVision. The original Atari 2600 used to play with my friend, and one of the slimline ones. There's an Atari ST printer there. There's my 3DO there, which I'm thinking of moving on. I just don't have enough room for everything, and I never play it. So, oh well. Now over in this, we've got a stack of PlayStation 2s and PlayStation 2 hard drives and some LCD games. Now over here, my wife took this corner over. There's a bit of a sewing area, so I haven't been able to clean it out for this video. But we have my retro computer collection. Now there are quite a lot there. There's heaps behind in this section. There's a TRS-80 Model 3, the hard drive, or sorry, floppy drive expansion for the PET. My other MSX2s there, spare Atari ST, and a Sinclair 128. It's the 128 disc one that's over there. There's also some Amstrads in there, Memotechs, Einstein over there. I have almost every single model of the Atari 8-bit line, and Yamaha MSX music computer there, and another Hitachi one over there. So lots and lots of stuff, and gradually getting cleaner. So there is another arcade cabinet under there. That's actually a Taito clean skin, so it's a Taito cabinet, because Taito made the Space Invaders cabinets. That's never had a game in it, so it's completely empty, fresh. I have a monitor to fit. I've got to build a mounting for it, and I have some control panels to put on. So lots to do on that one, and get it all working. A friend of mine recently moved out of his house and gave me these through 3 CRT tubes. So we've got a 17, a 12-inch, and I can't read the writing on that one because I've got too much stuff on it. So a few spare tubes plus the spare tube that I already have. So right on tubes. I've just got to get some of these chassis going again. Right. So a really quick impromptu room tour. Obviously need to do one with a little bit more detail on some of the collections and things like that, but it is, at least the room is getting a little tidier, and you can move around and you can see most things now. Yeah, as winter comes up, I might be able to get a bit more time in here. Depends on how the current job goes. I've been working too many positions lately and haven't any time. But gradually getting things on. And I really want to build these shelves here. I'm going to give them motion sickness, and replace these shelves here with a high one as well, and get all the Nintendo in one section there and make it all nice and displayed. And you can see the container of stain ready to go for the shelves. I was able to buy that, just not the wood for the shelves, and I'll probably stain these shelves as well. so starting getting the shelves more matching. And then later on I might replace more of that section down there, but we'll get these ones done first. So just go back and just give you another little pan around the room. I didn't really show you up here as well, so a lot of stuff up there. Joystick collection, Atari 8-bit games, Commodore 64 games, original Spectravideo, Vectrex, Atari ST softwares up there as well. Some more Amiga stuff hiding over in the corner. Retro gamer magazines going back quite a way, and lots of programming books on Amigas and Atari STs and MSX, of course. Yeah, so this is my games room. Very, very proud of it. Obviously would love to spend more time in here, and want to keep on tidying up and making it nice and clean up this middle mess, but I'll get there eventually. Alright, I hope you've enjoyed this quick look around my room. I'm Electric Adventures. Thanks to all my subscribers. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.